Hey everyone, this is Andy Tech with Check New Tech, and this is my favorite time of the year. Personally, I love college basketball, and I cannot get enough of it. So today on Pi Day, March 14th, I am going to pick my 2022 bracket live, and I'm going to show you what I'm thinking about, just in case you're entering some bracket games. Maybe you're going to figure out what you want to pick. We're going to start with the West region here, and there's no doubt in my mind Drew Timme, Chet Holgerson, Holmgren, they're going to go ahead and lead Gonzaga to the second round. No doubt about that in my mind. I feel like this is the year they are poised to make a deep run. Boise State and Memphis, I'm going to actually call it a coin flip here. I feel like Memphis actually has got a little bit of an edge, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Memphis here. They play in a little bit of a tougher conference in the AAC. Connecticut and New Mexico State. I got Connecticut going pretty deep here. They were actually doing very well early in the season, and they kind of tripped up a little and ended pretty strong. So we're going to pick them. Arkansas and Vermont. I'm going to have to say Arkansas. They've actually had some surprising shockers. They beat Auburn earlier in the year. Now we've got Alabama and Rutgers or Notre Dame. I know there's way too many Big Ten picks in the conference. I actually felt like Rutgers, they don't belong here. I don't even know how they picked Notre Dame. I would have picked Texas A&M to go in that conference. But we're going to just go ahead and pick Alabama by default because I don't think either of those teams deserve to be in the tournament this year. We've got Texas Tech and Montana State. I'm going to go Texas Tech. They are strong. They're going to make a deep run. This is a little tricky. When I look at Michigan State and Davidson, I feel like Davidson actually played very strong in the Atlantic 10 this year, and Michigan State tripped up several times, but I'm going to give the edge, just a little bit of an edge to Tom Izzo. So no surprises yet, and we're not going to end with any because I think Duke will definitely make a deep run with Coach K's last season here. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the East. So for the first round of the East, I'm going to pick Baylor. No doubt in my mind, they're going to beat Norfolk State. That's going to be easy. North Carolina and Marquette. Marquette had some surprising wins, but I'm still going to give the edge to North Carolina here. St. Mary's and Wyoming or Indiana. So I actually don't think Indiana or Wyoming should be in this. So I'm going to go ahead and pick St. Mary's here. That's going to be an easy pick for me. UCLA, we're not going to sell Juzang short. He surprised everyone this season, so no doubt in my mind I'm picking them. Texas and Virginia Tech. Yeah, Virginia Tech actually had a surprise run in the ACC tournament, but I'm going to go with Texas because they just have better defense. Purdue, you can't pick against Jaden Ivey and Zach Edey. They've got some great bigs there. Murray State and San Francisco. I actually think Murray State's going to win this easily after Ja Morant kind of shocked everyone with Murray State. I'm going to stick with them. Kentucky and St. Peter's. Again, no surprises here. I'm going to pick Kentucky. Don't worry, guys. We are getting to some upsets. I know this looks pretty vanilla so far. Arizona, and I actually don't care who they play. I'm going to pick Arizona here. Even if they play Wright State, I don't think they'll have a chance. Seton Hall and TCU. Again, this is going to be a close matchup, but I'm going to give a little bit of an edge to TCU here. That's going to be an interesting matchup with Arizona. Now we've got Houston and UAB. Houston had a tougher schedule. Again, they actually played in a stronger conference versus Conference USA, but I think there's going to be an upset here, and this is going to favor the next matchup between Chattanooga and Illinois. We're going to go ahead and pick Illinois. No doubt they're going to make a deeper run this year. I think they learned their lesson from last year. Hunter Dickinson against Colorado State. I think this is going to be a bit of an upset here. I think we're going to, even though I don't know if Michigan should have been in the tournament, I think they're going to make a pretty solid run in the first round at least, maybe in the second. Depends who they play, but we're going to find out. They're going to play Michigan. They're going to play Tennessee here. No doubt in my mind, Tennessee is going to make it through the first round. They're not going to choke like last year. They've got Fulkerson. They're pretty locked and loaded this year. They've got a lot of experience. Ohio State and Loyola Chicago. I have a feeling that Ohio State will not be fully healthy, so I'm going to pick Loyola Chicago. They upset Illinois last year, and they're in the same bracket, so this could be tricky depending on how far they go. We've got Villanova and Delaware. I've got Villanova going into the next round here. Now we're going to move to the Midwest. We've got Kansas and Texas Southern. I'm going to go ahead and pick Kansas here. No doubt they're going to win that first round fairly easily. And now we've got San Diego State and Creighton. I think here we're going to go with the Big East. I'm going to favor the Big East. I think Creighton's going to make it through the first round. Now we've got Iowa and Richmond. This is going to be a close one, closer than most people think. Iowa's coming off a strong Big Ten tournament win. I still am going to give the edge to them, but I think this will come down to the wire. Providence and South Dakota State. There's always some sort of major upset every year. I know a lot of people are looking at Providence and they look like they're poised to make a run, but I'm going to give the edge to South Dakota State. Now we've got LSU and Iowa State. LSU was lackluster. I feel like they got a higher seed than they deserve. So I'm actually going to say that Iowa State's going to make a little bit of an upset here. Now we've got Colgate and Wisconsin. Wisconsin, Big Ten co-champions with Illinois. I believe that they're going to win this one fairly easily. And we've got USC and Miami. I haven't watched a lot of these games this year, so this is going to be a toss-up for me. I'm actually going to go with the upset here and pick Miami. Auburn and Jacksonville State. I believe Auburn's going to make it. They were, champions of the SEC regular season. I felt like they coughed up a little bit at the end of the season, but they did all right. So they should be okay with the first round. Now we're going to move to the West second round. I've got Gonzaga beating Memphis. This one is going to be an interesting game. I actually think that Connecticut could have a little bit of an edge over Arkansas here because Arkansas, they didn't play consistent. Neither did Connecticut, but I think it's going to be any man's game here. Alabama and Texas Tech. I feel like Texas Tech is going to take this one. Now we've got Michigan State and Duke, two of the big coaches in college basketball. But I do believe Coach K is going to have the edge here. He's got a higher seed. Duke's played consistently, well over the course of the season, and Michigan State's lost some games that were pretty surprising. We've got Baylor and North Carolina. I'm going to pick Baylor to go over North Carolina. I've got UCLA definitely making it to the Sweet 16. They're going to punch their ticket in. And now we've got Purdue and Texas. This is going to be interesting. Great offense versus great defense. I'm going to give the edge to Purdue just because they have so many bigs out there. And now we've got Murray State and Kentucky. Unfortunately, this will be the end of Murray State's run, and Kentucky will punch their ticket into the Sweet 16. A lot of people have them in the, going farther than that, but we'll see how far they get in my bracket as I'm analyzing this. Now we've got Arizona and TCU. I give Arizona the edge here, and we've got Illinois and UAB. I still believe that Illinois will not choke this year in the second round. As many of you know, I pick with my heart sometimes. I am a U of I alumni, but I'm still going to give them the edge because I think that they're gonna make an interesting 1-4 match here with Arizona, considering that they played earlier before. So that's going to be a great match to watch. Now we've got Michigan and Tennessee. I think Tennessee is going to take Michigan fairly easily. They played pretty well throughout the year. They just won their SEC tournament. And now we've got Loyola, Chicago, and Villanova. I feel like Loyola could make this close. I know the stats are saying that there's a 78% chance that Villanova wins, so I'm going to give the edge here to Villanova. And now we're going to go to the Midwest Conference. I've got Kansas beating Creighton. This is going to be interesting. I think Iowa's going to make this one. And now we've got Wisconsin and Iowa State. I think Wisconsin plays really well, but I don't know if they're going to be 100% healthy with Johnny Davis getting injured later during the season. So I'm going to give them the edge, but it's going to be just because I've watched them play so much, and I feel like they could beat Iowa State. Then we've got Auburn. So we've got a lot of high seeds in the Sweet 16 this year, but I think it's going to be fairly predictable. Gonzaga over Connecticut, like I said, they're going to make an extremely deep run. I don't have any doubt about that. Duke and Texas Tech, I really want Coach K to win this, but I feel like defense is going to get the best of him this year, and unfortunately, in his last year, it would be great to see Duke play Gonzaga, the Blue Bloods, but we're going to have Texas Tech go. They make deep runs as well. So unfortunately, I think Texas Tech's going to be a 1-3 matchup here. As much as I want to see Coach K play, at least his team play. Okay, now we're looking at Baylor and UCLA. This will be interesting. You know, Baylor they're the defending champions, but I just have a feeling UCLA has it in them with Juzang. They're not an 11 seed; they're a 4 seed this year. Statistically, no 4 seed has beat a 1 seed before. I mean, I'm trying to wrap my head around that, so I'm going to have UCLA advancing here. This will be the first time a 4 seed beats a 1 seed. Now we've got Kentucky and Purdue. I think over the year, I've seen Purdue play really well, and Kentucky as well. This is going to be tough because the bigs in Purdue are just so hard to handle, so I'm going to give Purdue the edge. So we've got a 3-4 matchup here in the Elite Eight already. We've got a 1-3 and a 3-4. Now we've got Arizona and Illinois. They played earlier in the year, and Illinois had their number until the very last minute and a half. I feel like Illinois is going to make an upset here, and they're going to punch their ticket into the Elite Eight. Now we've got Tennessee and Villanova. This will be a really close game, but I think it's going to come down to Villanova having the edge over Tennessee. They've choked in some games where I felt like they could have won. So I think that's why I picked them here. Now we've got Kansas and Iowa. I think here I'm going to pick Iowa. I'm going to give them the edge over Kansas. I know Kansas has played really well. I believe they won their tournament and they won their regular season. But I think Iowa is just poised to make a run after winning that. They're coming off a high in the Big Ten championship. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Iowa here. Wisconsin and Auburn. I have Auburn actually getting into the Elite Eight. They deservedly so. They played surprisingly well in a fairly competitive SEC that has Kentucky there. So now we're going to go to the Final Four. We've got Gonzaga and Texas Tech. I'm going to pick Gonzaga. No surprises there. Gonzaga, I know every year I pick them to go fairly far, and they usually do. They make it at least to the Elite Eight, so I think that they're poised to make a run this year, and they're not going to surprise anybody because they're expected to be there. Now we've got UCLA and Purdue. I'm actually going to give the edge to Johnny Juzang, and I think they're going to be able to overcome the bigs of Purdue here. Now we've got, let's go up to the South Conference. We've got Illinois and Villanova. I think Kofi Cockburn is just going to be such a tough matchup, and you've got a lot of perimeter shooters for Illinois, so I'm going to actually have a 4 seed going into the Final Four here. So we've got 2 4 seeds, and then you've got Auburn and Iowa. Iowa's played a lot of games. Keep in mind they made it all the way through the Big Ten championship. I think they're going to lose a little bit of steam here, and Auburn's going to edge them. And they're going to surprise people. I actually thought Auburn might get upset a little bit earlier, but I think based on the way they're playing, I think if they could overcome Wisconsin, they're going to be the ones to punch their ticket. Otherwise, it will be Wisconsin, but I have Auburn just edging them. So that's why I picked them to go there. Now we've got Gonzaga, UCLA, Illinois, and Auburn. I think Gonzaga is going to overcome UCLA, make it to the final matchup against. I know you're going to say I pick with my heart, but really, I feel like this is going to be the year. Illinois is not a number 1 seed. They learned from last year's mistakes. Now they're going to overcome Auburn, and it's going to be a 1-4 matchup. And for the championship, this is going to be a tough one. It's going to come down to the wire. I've said this for several of the games. I think this will be a very, very awesome 2022 season because it is going to come straight down to the wire, and it's the difference maker here is going to be Cockburn or Drew Timme from Gonzaga, right? And I think that this is going to be the year with too many perimeter shooters, too much offensive firepower, and well-improved defense. Even without Io, I believe Illinois is going to win this. So there you go. There is my pick, Illinois for the championship for 2022. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I love picking the bracket, so if you enjoyed it as much as me, like and subscribe to this video. This is Andy Tech signing out. Check,